In this video, we're going to discuss access modifiers in Java. Access modifier might sound like a difficult word, and to be honest, it's not that easy either. But once you get the hang of it, you'll get the hang of it and it will become easy. So access modifiers determine from where certain class members can be accessed. For example, a public method, you can call that from anywhere, but a private method, you can only call that from inside the class. So there are four types of access modifiers. You have public, protected, the so-called default access modifier, meaning that you didn't specify anything, and you have private. You can call them on a class, a method, variable, or property in a class, and a constructor. So let me demonstrate this. We had the tiger of the previous video, and it had public methods, meaning that we can access these methods from everywhere. So if I create a tiger here, tiger t is new tiger, there we go. And I say t dot something, I get three options. I get 2 catch praise and 1 hunt. And I have some bunch of standard options that I always get. If I add another method here, a public one, public voids test access modifiers, like this. It's really not doing anything, but it's just for showing here that we see that we can test access modifiers here. If I made this private, I can no longer see it appear over here. See? It's gone because it's private. And private means that I can only access it from within the tiger.java class. So here I can call the method. That's fine because it's in the same class. But I cannot call it from outside the class. So I can only call it from there until there. So these are actually the two easiest ones. You have public, meaning you can access it from everywhere, and you have private, meaning you can only access it from inside the class. Then we have actually some default access modifiers going on here. Name, age, and hungry. If you don't specify anything, the access modifier will be default. So there's no keyword, it just means there's nothing else set. So if I made these private, I can only access them from inside the class, which is a convention, which we'll learn later. But if I wanted to access them from our main directly, I would have to make them public, because as you can see, they're not visible now. But if I made one of them public, so say I made age public, it's appearing over here. So then again, that's private and public. They're relatively easy to understand. Private meaning only from inside the class, public from everywhere in the program. Default is different. If you have a default access modifier, so nothing specified, you can only access it from within the package. So if I would move our main one up, just for the sake of this course, you can see that all of a sudden I have more options on the tiger. This is because it has default access. And default access means that I can access it from inside the package. So any class inside this package then can actually access these fields on tiger. So that's default. And then there is one more, protected. And protected is special, so to say. Meaning that it's very much like default, but then a tiny little bit more. So just like default, protected means that you can access it from inside the class. So if I would make these protected, and one more, protected, there we go. I can still access them from here. I can still see, there they are. But if I then move our main back up to the original package, yes, there we go, I can no longer access these fields because they're protected and I'm not inside the same package anymore right now. There's one more special thing about protected, and that is that child classes can also access these fields. But this is not as straightforward as you think. So child classes outside the package, I mean, they can also access these fields. So let's make a child class. Siberian tiger or something like that. And we say it's going to extend tiger. So yes, import it. This is in a different package, as you can see. This is in the NL Bright Boost package, and this one is in the Tiger package. So what we want to do is we want to actually see here that we can access the other ones. So you can say public void something Siberian. I don't know what's they can actually do extra, but here if you want to use one of the protected fields, we can. So we can here say name is, I don't know, something. So we can access these fields. So also if I make one of the methods protected, that's first of all private, you clearly cannot access them, but if they are protected, you can also call this method here. Whereas if this would have no access modifier, so it would have default access, it already says it has a related problem, but then here we could not access it. So this is the difference between the default and the protected access modifier. With the default access modifier, you still cannot access it in child classes that are in a different package. With protected, you can. So there's one thing that you cannot actually do. So if we go to our main method and we create a new Siberian tiger, like this. Oh, we have a T already. Let's go for T2. Then we cannot call the protected method on it, even though it is a child object. But still, it cannot call the test access modifier on this one. We simply cannot see it from our main method. If we were to do this in our Siberian tiger, and this is, well, I think this is quite interesting. Here we could. That's funny, right? So it depends on what you exactly are, whether you can access this test access modifiers that has the protected access in Tiger.